Дадзихао, всем добрый день, добро пожаловать на канал Эйрай. Мы продолжаем прохождение Honkai Rail. Мы находимся в наших воспоминаниях и продолжаем выполнять задания, связанные с нападением на Герту.
I need to go over it from the start. Starting with the conversation I had with Herta.
Поехали.
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's alive, but it doesn't have a body. Send me a signal when you see traces of it.
I think she mentioned something important, but I can't remember. If only there were some hints, then maybe...
Давайте использовать. Так, энергетическая сущность нам нужна.
Let me describe it again in case you forgot. It's an energy life form. It's alive, but it doesn't have a body. Send me a signal when you see traces of it.
Энергетическая форма жизни?
That's not the point. I wouldn't be bothering with it if it didn't have something to do with the Genius Society. Anyway, keep up the good work. I need to go out for a bit. Go ask Asta if you want someone to help you.
Все, отлично. Видимо, пропали исследователи. Еще каждое исчезновение сопровождалось самовозгоранием человеческого тела. И с чем-то здесь как-то связаны эти хилиоби или энергетические сущности.
I commend your stamina for recounting that interminable tale. You must be exhausted. My ears certainly are. So, to sum it up, the last time you laid eyes on Herta was in her office. She sent you on a wild goose chase for some trinket, the curio. After which you knew nothing else until Lady Asta contacted you. If that's the narrative you're sticking to, then indulge me. Who, pray tell, can substantiate this captivating drama?
Аста?
A second-hand account. She wasn't at the scene. Hearsay hardly counts as compelling evidence, now does it?
Affirmation. We can ask Herta herself.
Well, if you lace up those boots and start sprinting now, you might just catch the IPC shuttle in 4 system hours. But as it stands, not a single soul can corroborate his story.
Mr. Ratio, your style of questioning would seem to have a preconceived bias.
Apologies, it's an unfortunate habit of mine. When one is immersed in academic research, skepticism comes far more naturally than belief. It is also the most efficient method, judging from my experience. Seeking answers with a negative hypothesis in mind is still valid research. It can still help us reach the truth. If he is truly innocent, he can clear his name with answers. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment.
Ух ты ж. Так. Да. Член общества гениев, скорее всего.
I remember now. Back then...
That's enough pretending. Please be quiet. Based on your story, you met with Herta because she specifically wanted you for an assignment, and the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name. Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet, she singles out one nameless ordinary curio?
I doubt Herta is interested in the curio itself.
Based on your story, you met with
Dick.
Herta because she specifically wanted you for...
I remember now.
That's enough Based on
Чё, я
your
не понимаю,
story...
а
If you
зачем
knew
здесь?
Herta, then you wouldn't find it weird.
Don't interrupt other people. Did no one teach you manners? Based on your story,
Последнее остается само сгорание.
I remember now.
that's enough based on your story, and the assignment involves a Herta's collection.
I doubt.
Based
Не
on your
понятно,
story,
что мне нужно.
and the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name.
Так, пусть на каждую реплику можно защищаться. Ага. Вот здесь не хватает обучения, на самом деле. Потому что я не понимаю, чего они от меня хотят.
Herta didn't mention the name of the curio. We were talking about something else, and she just mentioned it in passing. However, she did give a thorough description of the curio. I didn't make that up.
True. You wouldn't be able to make that up.
Why do I feel like I'm being looked down on?
And the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even have a name.
I remember now.
That's enough and the assignment involves a curio that doesn't even
Я не
have...
I
понимаю.
remember now.
That's enough and the assignment involves a curio that...
I remember now.
That's enough and
Я
the
вообще не
assignment
понимаю, что
involves Herta's
происходит здесь.
collection. An endless trove of trinkets and...
Sure. But you're the one saying the curio in question is ordinary.
Say what you want to say.
A correct observation, if I may add.
Herta's collection. An endless trove of trinkets and baubles.
Может
And
быть, здесь
yet,
кризис доверия,
she's
или вы
sing-
член
I
общества.
remember now.
That's enough
Опять не то, это
Herta's
что ж такое? Я
collection.
не понимаю,
An
чего они
endless
хотят.
trove of trinkets and baubles. And yet,
The
Ooh.
curio isn't the point. Herta was only addressing it because of its relation to the Genius Society.
I would imagine the curio is the creation of a genius. Affirmation. It holds some special meaning to Herta.
yes. That seems logically sound.
Для меня вообще нелогично, я не понимаю этого допроса вообще.
Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio.
Yes, to get more information about the curio. I didn't get a direct answer, but Asta recommended I seek out a researcher who could help.
Then you said you asked Asta for help with the lost curio. However, she decided to hold her tongue until now?
Mr. Ratio, it's because...
I'm asking him, Lady Asta. Your testimony went out the window the second you started being secretive. However, she decided to hold her tongue until now?
Здесь кризис доверия, мне кажется.
I remember now.
Нет.
That's
Да
enough
почему
however,
так?
she decided to... So what's the story? Are you full of fanciful fiction? Or is Asta the one hoarding secrets like they're going out of style?
Asta isn't trying to hide anything. It's because of her position. Some things shouldn't be said in the open.
What could be more important than Herta's safety?
I agreed for Mr. Ratio to become involved in this. I should consider him one of us. It's okay. You can tell him.
So what's the story? Are you
А,
full
либо
of
здесь само
fanciful
доверие, либо
fiction?
кризис доверия.
Or is it...
I remember now.
Понятно.
That's enough pretend. So
В
what's the
этом вообще я
story?
не понимаю, чего от меня хотят.
The space station has been very distrustful of its higher management, ever since the Antimatter Legion's invasion. Another severe incident would further intensify suspicion, and cause great internal strife.
Oh. So that explains why Lady Asta approved of my participation. After all, the Intelligentsia Guild's representative wouldn't be linked to the space station but would still share the IPC's position. They wouldn't be partial to anyone, but would still act for the space station's benefit. Two birds with one stone. Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard the responsibility of sorting out that mess has been thrust upon Arlen, head of the security department.
Yes. I ran into Arlen when looking for Adler,
Adler?
a level 2 researcher. According to the Department of Ecology head, he knows more about curios than anyone else. He happened to be helping Arlen investigate the disappearances.
Well, did he enlighten you?
Adler seemed to have an idea at the time, but he never contacted me again.
Researchers' disappearances, you say? Yes, I've heard clearly, though. It bears no connection to Herta's puppet being attacked.
No connection? I disagree. There should be evidence linking them together. If I review a certain record,
Clearly, though, it
Но
bears no
определенные
connection
вещи,
to
само собой,
Herta's
они
puppet
остаются у
being
нас.
no. If I recall correctly, Asta said, one of Madame Herta's puppets was attacked by an unknown perpetrator. We don't know the location of the puppet, and we can't pinpoint its signal. Don't know the location. Isn't that the same as missing?
She did say that, but then what? You need to provide evidence to show incidents are linked.
There should be evidence. Arlen discovered something odd when he was investigating the disappearances. The space station's automatic fire suppression system was momentarily activated around the time the disappearances happened. Arlen mentioned that each victim disappeared due to spontaneous combustion.
Huh. But there are no signs of a fire anywhere in the space station.
That's what's so odd about it. But this information has an additional layer of importance. This may not be direct evidence, but if the system also recorded the fire suppression system activating when the puppet was attacked, then there's ample evidence to indicate that these two cases are linked.
If these two incidents were caused by the same person, then the suspicion put on you would decrease, provided that this fire suppression record does exist in the system.
We'll see in the main control room. Let's go. Huh? What was that?
Он здесь, здесь. Кто? Большой босс. Обалдеть. Ну вот на геймпаде его никак не открыть.
Harrider News Flash. This is an urgent broadcast. I repeat, this is an urgent broadcast. News has finally emerged regarding the attack on Madame Herta. The Annihilation Gang has claimed responsibility for the incident and warned of further activity. The Guild has expressed utmost condemnation.
The gods of the starry skies have abandoned the world. They give no thought to the masses. Only the wounded savior can bathe the world in the firelight of destruction. Yet always there are cowards trying in vain to reject their favor and escape the wounds. Flee then. Flee as far as you can. No matter the distance, annihilation will find you.
This is...
A declaration of war, and an announcement of what's to come. They have set their sights on you. The Legion's impact remains, and the Annihilation Gang is already paying a visit. It almost seems like this space station is more suited for the path of destruction than erudition.
This Duke Inferno Ifrit is a life form that hails from Fatora, a world long since destroyed. His race, the ever-burning fire demons, regard Nanook as their emperor and savior, but the Aeon has never cast their gaze upon them.
A group of pitiful lunatics. I like Dr. Primitive's assessment of them. The value Nanook sees in the Annihilation Gang is perhaps far less than one might see in a child who deliberately broke a vase. The fire demons have a cruel temper and instinctively ignite and destroy items. Ifrit is particularly evil and cruel, even among his kin. The Everflame mansion he heads is even the arch-enemy of the Japella Brotherhood, despite both groups belonging to the Annihilation Gang.
Japella Brotherhood? I've heard that name somewhere.
On the Stellaron Hunters wanted posters, they stand accused of inciting the Japella Rebellion, the uprising that caused the downfall of the Brotherhood.
The Japella Palace crumbled in the scorching flames, and Ifrit's power has grown by the day ever since. Would you believe it would be merely a coincidence? Something similar is about to happen here. Spontaneous combustion? For him, it's as routine as me finding fault in everything. The disappearance of researchers and the puppet were all part of the plan. And after that video will soon circulate. And this station's fate? Flames. Nothing but flames.
The destruction of trust.
I'm afraid more than trust will be destroyed here. You need to start acting now if you want to survive. You, come with me.
Я?
You have a superior strategy? Pray tell, do we set the two of them loose, turning whispered fears into full-blown pandemonium?
If we did that, we'd be at a disadvantage. I'll stay here and try to contain the news as best I can. Please, investigate the issue quickly.
Нужно
Let's take
каврину
it in turns.
сходить.
You rest. I'll stand guard.
Not good. This is serious. The security department will do whatever we can to help you.
A list of the missing researchers and their details.
Sure, but the security department already combed through their backgrounds and personal relationships. We didn't find anything odd. The Annihilation Gang are a group of die-hard thugs. They might be attacking indiscriminately.
A list of the missing researchers and their details.
Okay.
Take it. Remember these names. Find a friend who's tuned into the gossip around here and tell them you want to know the relationship between these people.
Есть идея.
I don't know. That depends on your friend.
Давно не виделись. Запишешь на мой счет? Ты как всегда. Ты тоже недовольна руководством? Какая умная.
What else do you need me to do?
Take me to the one who knows the most about curios within the Department of Ecology, if you would be so kind.
He disappeared too.
Что случилось?
I didn't really notice at first. Adler's difficult to get a hold of at the best of times. But it's been a few system hours, and I still can't reach him. Even the surveillance cameras can't find any trace. The last time I saw him was in the Master Control Zone. He was with Wen Sherling from the Department of Implement Arts.
Lead the way. You said Adler was on the verge of a discovery, yet couldn't confer his knowledge. Intriguing and frustrating, to say the least. If his disappearance is also related to the case here, Then maybe he really did stumble upon something important.
True. The keywords that got Adler thinking were energy life forms. Duke Inferno is also an energy life form. Coincidence? We need to investigate this.
Мне нужна твоя помощь. Насчет герцога инфернального огня. Проблемы на космической станции.
Jerk! Fine! Disappear! I don't ever want to see your face again!
Кто тебя так расстроил?
Oh, it's you. It's Adler. Adler disappeared. He's been acting really weird recently. Always researching stuff like spontaneous combustion, supernatural activities. He doesn't even answer me when I speak to him. He was talking to himself.
What did he talk about?
He kept saying the word phrase.
Phrase.
Мы его вернем.
Who said I want him back? But if you want to find him, he was reading this booklet the last time I saw him. I don't know exactly what he's searching for, but I hope it can help you.
Есть новости? Рассказывай. Чего? Спасибо.
Your countenance suggests tragedy. So the researchers who disappeared were at the forefront of challenging management. Isn't that a curious puzzle piece? I finished browsing through this booklet while you were replying to messages. It recorded the lives of a few Genius Society members. I'd say it contains some interesting information. It's time to go back and chat with Lady Asta and Mr. Screwlum.
В смысле? В чем ты? Переход между измерениями. Ее вполне достаточно. Что ж, возвращаемся тогда в эту зону. Я здесь даже еще ничего не изучал, надо будет это исправить. Так. Путь пока закрыт. Спасибо. А как мне попасть туда тогда? Вообще это изолированная зона, да? Да, это изолированная зона. Ну тогда отсюда. Можно в ту сторону, насколько я помню. Здесь идет создание Жуаньмэй. Попробуем потом открыть тогда дверь в таком случае. О, еще жуки здесь. Давайте попробуем на них пробежать. Я не хочу с ними воевать, если честно. Вот Герта сама стоит. Может, у нее спросить, наверное, что она думает про все это. Вот этого надо сейчас добить. Успел.
Lend me your strength. Who's next?
Receive divinity.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Lend me your strength.
The dead return!
Вот и все. Надо сразу было ее забрать, чтобы больше не попадаться туда. И давайте откроем только здесь ворота в таком случае. Всё.
You're back. I've been monitoring the dark web. I barely managed to stop the video from spreading. The incident hasn't grown any bigger, for now. How are things with you?
Less than promising. Or to use a different phrase, we're in deep trouble. We're running out of time. Let's retrace our steps and evaluate the situation. From the data we've collected, there are 3 avenues we can explore. First, Adler's disappearance. He must have come across some vital information.
Adler also.
You think that Adler's discovery drew the enemy's attention?
Indeed, and I already know what he found. First, Adler's disappearance. The next angle is what the victims have in common, distasteful as that discussion may be.
Distasteful discussion.
A mere glance at their background would indicate they share no commonalities. However, after browsing through their online records, you discover they all wield influence on the space station's dark web. Lady Asta must know what this means. The next angle, last, is the abilities of Duke Inferno and the secret of spontaneous human combustion. You probably already know about this. The fire demon of Fatora, the Duke of the Annihilation Gang. There is another secret with Ifrit. Last is the abilities of Duke Inferno and the secret of spontaneous human combustion. During prior unrest, instigated by the Everflame Mansion, some testified to seeing miscreants materialize from the Inferno. The flickering tongues of Duke Inferno's fire carrying a certain property, and this property is the secret behind spontaneous human combustion. Look, the answer is right there. This booklet describes a kind of fire that can phase through dimensions, claiming it burns through worlds, leaving numerous scions of flame behind.
It's the Phase Flame, the creation of member number 29, Sir Kal. She was an amazing genius. intelligent, kind, and humble. However, she lived for a mere 29 days on the human calendar. Such a pity. The phase flame shifted into a different phase as soon as it was created. When it returned to this phase, Sir Karl had already passed away. It then continued to shift through phases, making its capture impossible.
This booklet describes a kind of fire that can phase through dimensions, claiming it burns through worlds, leaving the kindling of this unique flame. Must be the missing curio that Hurt has been searching for, and Duke Inferno is evidently spawned from it.
Somebody was once able to glimpse the traces of the phase flame and obtained a wisp of its kindling. Herta kept it and lent it to Ron May for her research, but the kindling was lost in the process. If Ifrit is a scion of the phase flame, then the entire incident is now clear as day.
The kindling of this unique flame. I fear that this is the truth Adler discovered. Undoubtedly, the curio Herta asked to find was the phase flame. And Adler already discovered the relationship between spontaneous human combustion and the phase flame through the concept of energy life forms. I fear that this is the truth Adler discovered.
Список пропавших исследователей или буклет?
I understand.
Tenuous connection. I fear that this is the
Ладно,
truth
тогда
Adler discovered.
буклет.
When Schurling said, Adler kept muttering about a phrase before he disappeared. I believe this word was actually phase. He saw Member 29 Sir Karl's research topic in this booklet and verified his hypothesis. As a scion of the phase flame, Duke Inferno would naturally share similar capabilities. Full-on phase shifting may be a bit too ambitious for him, but teleportation, that's likely more his speed. That is the truth of the spontaneous human combustion. The researchers didn't disappear. They were moved. We don't know where the victims went, but Duke Inferno's plan is now clear. And the sudden and consecutive disappearances provided the best environment for chaos to fester. Once the seed of unrest has sprouted, he will then send out an announcement for an imminent attack. It will push the crisis from the dark into the light, catalyzing it into new growth and bloom. The next step would be to ignite the spark. Look at those researchers who disappeared. What would happen if someone realized their similarities? I need say no more.
It was all a premeditated trap to stir up chaos on the space station.
We're running out of time.
This...
No, it isn't enough.
Indeed, it needs one more spark.
What do you mean?
If you limit your involvement to this, there's still room for excuses. If it were me, I wouldn't give you the chance.
Could it be?
Huh? What is it?
Stay calm. Asta was merely teleported. Her life was not in danger. Based on first-hand experience, I have ascertained that Ifrit's flame is simply a splinter of the primordial phase flame, lacking any phase shift ability. Logic. Asta is still within the confines of the space station.
Что мы будем делать теперь?
That flame must still be somewhere inside the station. Find it, and we'll find a way to bring her back.
A splinter, you say? The arrogance of the gifted is charming in its own way. Try then if you must.
It seems that Duke Inferno didn't deign to personally grace the space station. He merely cast infernal fire into our midst to wreak havoc among the researchers. When the fire fizzles out, his malevolent plans will vanish without a trace.
I will head to Herta's office and activate the folded space in the curio storage room. With some changes to its parameters, I can use it to block the fire's teleportation routes and seal it inside the station. Mr. Ratio, please go with Mr. Trailblazer and contain the fire.
Должен быть доктор Рацио. Так, ну, благо нам дали хотя бы мощного доктора Рацио. Он будет нашим основным дамагером, насколько я помню. Так, броня тогда... Вот так вот и вот так вот предлагаю. Попробуем так. Угу. Ну, сойдет.
The infernal fire is also a form of energy life form. The imaging device will pick up its trace. Follow it.
Ну, думаю, на этом мы закончим. Спасибо всем за просмотр и всем пока. Зайдем.